Review copy provided by PlayStation.
Resistance members, report to the VIP section of your nearest intake facility for compulsory behavioral modification.
It's been nearly 20 years since Ratchet & Clank debuted on PlayStation 2. In their first decade, they started more than 10 games, but lately, they haven't been quite as active. 5 years have already flown by since the duo's first adventure was retold with the PS4 game, accompanied by a feature film. But now, Rift Apart continues the original timeline we last saw with Into the Nexus. Knowing how much Ratchet dreams of reuniting with his missing race of Lombaxes, Clank rebuilds the Dimensionator in hopes of finding them. Then, right on cue, the pair's arch-rival Dr. Nefarious swoops in to steal the powerful tool for himself. During the chaos, Ratchet and Clank are separated, and Clank is soon face-to-face with a mysterious Lombax named Rivet, setting the stage for a multi-dimensional, world-hopping adventure. If you've never played Ratchet & Clank or you're rusty on the lore, don't be alarmed. There are plenty of references to characters and events from the past, but the story is mostly self-contained and highlights the personal growth of our heroes through universal themes like acceptance, regret, and courage. The supporting cast of characters offers impactful moments, challenging each other while still maintaining the lighthearted sense of humor. Rivet is a newcomer, but she's instantly relatable as her confident exterior masks internal vulnerability and doubt.
I know this is gonna sound totally weird, but the Mort used to tell me legends about someone on Torrent 4 called the Fixer. If it's broke, the Fixer will fix it.
Fans of the series should feel immediately comfortable with combat and exploration. Each planet consists of core and optional objectives that are reached through a steady mix of combat, platforming, and occasionally light puzzle solving. The planets vary in size and aesthetic and typically feature their own set of inhabitants like the unforgettably jolly Morts. Each area feels distinct, like the neon glow of Nefarious City or the lush undergrowth of Sargasso, highlighting distinct opportunities for discovery. The planet of Blizar Prime benefits the most from the PlayStation 5's SSD. You can strike crystals to swap the entire planet between two different realities in an instant, navigating between peaceful and destroyed versions of the same level at will. This changes not just the tone of the level, but also gives you access to new areas, as well as encounters with different enemies and NPCs. It's a strong demonstration of how level design can change when such short load times become the standard. There's a plethora of secrets on each planet in the form of gold bolts, spy bots, and challenge rifts. Challenge rifts put your platforming skills to the test by emphasizing a specific ability like riding mounts or well-timed jumps, and upon completion, you're rewarded with a permanent stat-boosting piece of armor. Collecting gold bolts unlocks a variety of bonuses like visual filters, extra photo mode options, and infinite ammo. Additionally, smashing boxes fills the screen with a spectacular number of bolts that can be used to purchase weapons from Ms. Zircon, and hidden caches of raritanium allow you to upgrade those weapons. Exploring each area is a delight because traversal is so varied and engaging, with optional secrets that are beneficial and rewarding. The trademark weaponry of the series is on righteous display, with a slew of returning favorites and instant classics like the Negatron Collider. Charging up the Collider's beam unleashes a Kamehameha-style blast that can take out large crowds at a time. The Enforcer begins its life as a double-barreled shotgun, but once it's fully upgraded, 2 more barrels are added for quadruple the fun. The Ricochet is another highlight that shoots a single projectile, but with proper timing can repeatedly bounce back to targets to deal extra damage. The audio and visual elements expertly enhance the spectacle of each weapon. The Negatron Collider sounds like a transformer, while the nostalgic sounds of a pinball machine highlight the Ricochet, enriching each successful hit. Combat is quick and surgical. Eliminating foes awards character XP that increases maximum health, and weapon XP that unlocks additional upgrades. 2 new abilities enhance the combat from previous games in the series. The Rift Tether can be used to quickly change position on the battlefield, while the Phantom Dash grants a precious moment of safety. Put together, they provide a little more room for strategy and quick thinking as you try to outmaneuver the hordes. Conflicts can be utterly chaotic as Ratchet and Rivet dodge and tether around the battlefield, unleashing havoc from their powerful arsenal. A wide assortment of enemies combined with a large selection of weapons ensures that combat remains impactful while encouraging different tactics depending on the opposition. You can assign up to 4 weapons to quick select from the D-pad, but pulling up the wheel to swap to additional weapons momentarily halts the action. Early on, when your inventory is limited, this isn't much of a problem, but as your arsenal expands and enemies become more ferocious, swapping between more than 4 weapons in a fight is common. Having a moment of respite to switch weapons and prioritize enemies has its benefits, but constantly needing to pause and swap becomes a distracting interruption, pulling you out of the flow of battle. Each planet is tied specifically to either Ratchet or Rivet, but inventory and skills are shared between them, which helps streamline the experience. Unfortunately, since the feel and handling is identical for both characters, they lose out on a sense of individuality. In addition to Ratchet and Rivet, their companions are also playable in certain sections to mix up the gameplay. Ratchet's new friend, an antivirus program named Glitch, enters corrupted terminals to eradicate viruses, appearing as a six-legged tank, complete with blasters and rockets. It's more than a simple diversion, though, as she has her own small character arc throughout these sections, highlighting her endearing bravery. The Clank sections are the most puzzle-focused and revolve around fixing dimensional anomalies by guiding alternate versions of him through complicated environments. They're balanced well and feature just the right amount of challenge, never too frustrating, but fulfilling upon completion. The DualSense controller takes advantage of Rift Apart's extraordinary weapons, gadgets, and worlds. Rainfall, grinding rails, and magnetic walkways feel convincing, while many of the guns have their own distinct feedback. Tons of accessibility options are featured, like visual modifiers, auto-aim, and the ability to remap controls. Visually, Rift Apart is a PlayStation 5 showpiece with excellent use of color and effects. As with Spider-Man Miles Morales, Insomniac offers 3 distinct visual options. Fidelity mode runs at 30 frames per second at 4K with ray tracing, enhanced lighting, additional visual effects, and increased scene density. Performance mode targets 60 frames per second with a dynamic resolution, and Performance RT adds ray tracing to the mix for a balance of both worlds. Challenge mode returns, and it's unlocked after successfully completing the campaign. The harder mode lets you keep all your weapons and upgrades while raising the level cap further to make your weapons even more powerful. Successfully eliminating enemies raises your bolt multiplier, but getting hit resets it. There's some worthwhile extras here too, ensuring there's still plenty to do after you finish the main journey.
I do regret this.
Come on! We both know how this is gonna end, big guy!
Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is an exceptional entry in the storied franchise. It doesn't reinvent the series, but instead uses Insomniac's decades of experience to create a familiar and refined take on the universe. Newcomer Rivet is immediately relatable and a great addition to the wonderful cast. Modern technology like the PlayStation 5's DualSense controller and SSD enrich the experience of exploration and combat. Whether you've been following the series since 2002 or you're just hopping in for the first time, Rift Apart is a must-play summer blockbuster. Final score, 8.5 out of 10. Easy Allies reviews are made possible by generous viewers just like you. If you like what you see, check out patreon.com/easyallies to help us make more. For just $1 a month, you can gain access to weekly updates, spoiler discussions, and exclusive shows. Review copy provided by PlayStation.